Cavalry, everybody. Johnny, good to see ya. How you doing?
Oh my God, so good to see you.
Yeah.
Crisp, clear, no lag, no jitter, no jump. High quality podcasting. Our listeners have come to expect every
That's
so
right.
often.
Every so often, every once in a blue moon. We both happen to be somewhere with a high-speed internet connection and a microphone. Well, but I've got an update. Do we have a name for
Let's
this?
hear it.
So, do you remember when we were talking about undersea cables connecting?
Yes, I do. I believe that was last week.
Okay, so my friend and listener to the show, AJ Benaltby, he texted me and he goes, "We learned about undersea cables in height." He's like, "I remember you learning about that. Like the teacher was talking about laying those cables, and you were like incredulous." He said, I was like, there's no way. There's too many variables. It's impossible. They couldn't have done it. Like, it's like I was arguing the point, which is so funny because then it means I didn't believe it and then blacked it out of my head to where I relearned it at 40 and it was still like blew my mind.
And it was new again.
And it
When
was
you
new to get
relearned it,
me
it was new.
because I refused to believe it when I heard it, when they tried to teach it to me the first time. And then he said, then I went to that same day, we went to math class. And in math, they started talking about imaginary numbers. Do you remember learning about imaginary numbers or the
No.
imaginary number? It's like a part of
Oh,
algebra where they can't solve for like a certain thing. So it's literally you put like an I and that, and I lost it about that too. He's like, it was so funny because like you were just like out on learning. You were like, there's undersea cables, there's imaginary numbers. Like I'm out. That's as far as I gotten to the top of my education, and that's as far as I'm willing to go.
yeah.
So anyway,
How did I not hear about the imaginary number? I mean, you got X as a variable when you're using
no
algebra. You're
X,
trying to
yeah,
solve.
you can solve for X, but there's certain equations you can't solve for them. So then you just put the I, and I lost it. I was like, well, what do you mean? Then math is bullshit. If you ever
I
get to the
agree.
yeah. I was like, I'll just put A. I said, my name's Andrew. I'll put A for every answer. That's an imaginary number. I imagined it's an A. But
It's imaginary because you can't solve for it. Like, isn't that like, okay, Y equals B? Well, you can't solve for it. So,
this is
yeah.
one of those conversations that we're having where someone might be listening who's good at math and is blowing their brains out going, you fucking idiots. It's because, and it's like, we're never going to get to but don't be mad at us.
You
We're
know
not the
what? Here,
ones.
can I speak to directly to this listener?
Yeah.
Okay. You're a fucking nerd. You're a nerd. Get a life.
Well, what? You see, it's imaginary because we don't care.
Because I can't even think of a way to make fun of it.
No, I know it's too abstract.
It's too nerdy. I don't even want to dip my toe in water.
So, it just goes to show you they taught you all this stuff in high school. All this stuff where you're like, oh my God, did you know? Did you know it's like this? Have you ever heard of this? They probably taught you it in high school and you just either forgot or blacked it out or weren't ready to learn it.
Wait, how long has the internet been around? Because it was around before they sent out the AOL discs, like long before
Yeah,
that, right? This
yeah. The
wasn't
internet's been around since
really
like maybe like the early 90s. That's a good question.
early 90s. I'm trying to think, when did you first have internet or start
I
using
remember my grandfather was early on it. He had Prodigy. Do you remember Prodigy?
Yeah, was that like encyclopedia on the disc? Or no, that's Encarta. I don't know.
No, Prodigy was like AOL, but
Oh,
it
it's just
was
a
like
different one.
a different one. And I bet he had it to do like, I don't know, he liked to do stocks or I don't know what. But I remember if you could log on and there were games, and then we could go,
Okay.
like he had a computer at his house. I remember we would go and play, like, but it was by the minute, so he wouldn't let us play very long because it was like charging you by the minute.
Yeah, that's how AOL was.
Yeah.
You had 100 free hours. Yeah.
Can you imagine if they charged people for internet by the minute now? How much
Oh,
people would
God.
like freak out?
You mean like
It might be
how it
better.
was on the cruise ships
Yes.
literally a year ago?
You know what? It might be better for society. They should go. Here's a hot take, or this is what I
Is
need
your hot
back
take?
up on. This is what I
Oh,
need back up
nice.
on. They should go back to charging people for internet by the minute. Everyone would be better off. You would only log on, do important things, check your email, do what you have to do, and you would log off and you'd go and you'd live a regular human adult life.
You know what? I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to say not only they charge you by the minute, but regardless of your income or your status, you're only allotted a certain number.
Oh,
So you
even
can't
better.
just be like, oh, I've got fuck you money. I don't care.
Right.
Because that gives you a leg up on other people. No, that's
And then
not
they have
fair.
an advantage at work and stuff. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah. Everyone gets 100 minutes a day online. And that sounds like a lot when I'm saying it, but it's really not. It's really not.
That's my morning dump.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
take 100-minute dump.
And I scroll the whole
They call it,
time.
oh, Johnny's going for the 100-minute. Johnny's taking a 100-minuter in there.
That's right. I'm on a deep scroll.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
Oh, can I ask you, speaking, since we're talking about the internet and scrolling, did you get my video clip that I sent you? I texted you.
I just saw it. Somehow I missed it when you originally sent it. And then
this will be great. So you haven't watched it yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it's 12 seconds, so you have time.
Okay, I'm going to watch it right now, okay?
All right, you can hold it up to the thing if they hear it.
Should I hold it
so that they can hear it.
Okay, I'm going to hold it near the microphone.
So hold on, backstory. So you got to read my text.
Oh.
No, you don't even read my text. Read my text after.
Do I have to?
Just play it and then I'll explain it.
Okay.
So I sent him a 40-minute set and I was like, here you go. You pick whatever spots work well. He's like, so this was the first clip I got back from the guy that.
And you're paying for these?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. I think having a threesome is kind of like walking a dog. That was a callback to the previous comedian who's not on tape. The guy before me had like 5 punchlines for that same setup. And so I just opened, that was the clip. And then he adds a kazoo noise.
That's what I was going to say. The kazoo noise. That's the genius you're paying for. I would have never thought of that.
Oh,
comedy.
And I like how the captions are like Johnny Bino.
Yeah. Wait, did you really pay this guy for these?
Well, I told him, I was like, I'm not paying for, he did 3 other, it's supposed to be like $50 a thing. And I was like, whatever. Cause he sent me a bunch of samples. I was like, okay, I'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I can do that. And that was the first one I got. And I was like, that's not going to work.
Jesus.
He's like, you can keep that one for free. Sometimes the confusion is alluring and it gets people to dig deeper. I'm like, I don't want to look like a moron.
Yeah. You know what? When I watched that clip, I thought it was alluring. Introductions 101. And also, like, what was wrong? The introduction, there was nothing wrong with the introduction. She said, here comes Johnny Beener. What else do you want? That was fun. That's like he's making fun of her. You're the one who went up there and talking about threesomes and dogs and shit. That's great. What a state comedy is in.
I love it. I love it.
What a world.
Oh, that brings me to another pre-show bit I wrote. This is hot off the, what do they say?
Hot off the presses.
Not off the press, but it's like right now in the moment. Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah. What a great thing. Like I saw that pretty quick because I was on a plane and I was just
Yeah.
scrolling my phone a ton. And then people were like immediately sharing it around. And then when you're watching it, you're still thinking of him as like just a, a comic. I see, I always just think of him as the guy from the Comedy Store. I kind of forget he's as famous as he is because
Right.
I don't listen to the show or care about like Kill Tony or anything.
Yeah.
So then, but then, it is like the biggest thing because everywhere you go, people are like, you should do Kill Tony. Like they think that that's like making it in comedy.
Yeah.
And so, when I saw the joke, I was like, oh, God, this guy's such a hack. Like, but I forgot that it's like at Donald Trump's biggest rally of the year. And
Yeah.
so then it becomes this thing that's like so outsized and bigger than life itself. And then now they're talking about it like having real implications in the election. Like they're like, well, there's 500,000 Puerto Ricans and people are like changing the way they're going to vote and all this stuff. You're like, oh my God. And it just hit me. I was like, that would be what a timeline we live in if the election is change. Like literally Kamala Harris gets elected president because Tony Hinchcliffe did one of his shitty roast jokes. Like, oh my God, what a universe we're in. Because people are hearing this and they don't realize how crazy it is. Because both you and I remember Tony Hinchcliffe as a comic before he is who he is now, So if you would have told me 10 years ago Tony Hinchcliffe is going to decide who's elected president of the United States, I would have been shocked.
Oh my God. When I first saw that, like I was reading the articles, I was like, oh my God. And I saw the clip of it. I was just like, it seemed like, oh, he's like as I didn't know I didn't know his political. I was just like, oh, he's probably just, here's a opportunity to get in front. And then I'm thinking, oh, is he like being a Trojan horse where he's like sabotaging from within? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
like so bad.
I don't think he's that smart.
I don't either.
I think it's funny that, well, first of all, I read a hilarious like anecdote about it where they were like, he was like running the material, so he knew he had the gig. I wonder what he got paid. That's the first thing I thought of. Isn't that funny? I was like, I wonder what he got paid. What do you get paid to do Madison Square Garden? You're opening for Trump, but you're the first performer on a 47 person lineup. Like, what does that pay?
What was he first? I don't even know.
I think he went literally first. I think it was
okay.
And then there was like 90 people after him, and then Trump. So I was like, what is that? How does that break down? You get like a ticket split or what? But he was running the material at one, like in Austin somewhere, and that Puerto Rican joke where he calls it a floating garbage or whatever.
Yeah.
I like they're defending the joke now too. Like, well, actually, Puerto Rico has a significant garbage problem. Like, yeah, that's what he was going for. I'm sure he thought that room understood the garbage issues in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he ran the joke at a club and it bombed because it's like not a funny joke. And then he does a saver and he goes, oh, I'm opening for Trump. That's gonna kill at the Trump rally.
Oh, when there's more people, it'll be funnier.
You don't understand. Just wait till I talk to the Trump rally. They're gonna go crazy. And then when you watch the joke of the Trump rally, it doesn't even hit. Even they're like, Jesus Christ, what are you, fucking nuts? Take it easy, pal.
Yeah.
We're trying to do subtle allusions to Nazism, not like just literally do it. It's crazy. It's just crazy. It's so crazy. It's
that's what I love about it. Is like everyone's like take on it is like, yeah, the whole like people are like, oh, that's offensive. But now it's like all these like news outlets are like, it's not even about being offensive. It's not funny. It's not funny. Like they're talking about how bad of jokes they are.
Well, that's what I
regardless of how offensive it is. It's just not funny.
I tweeted a couple things about it, and then of course one of his trolls found me and started fighting with me. And I was like, I was on a plane, I'd had a couple drinks, and I was like, I said to myself, I was like, not only am I gonna respond, I'm gonna respond to every time this guy responds, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna do 2 tweets to every his one. So every time he responds to me, he thinks I don't have time. You don't have time, pal. I'm responding twice for every one of yours. And I did, and he
Oh,
finally gave up. And I just kept
nice.
saying, like, it doesn't, he's a hack. I'm like, he's a hack. Every comic knows he's a hack. And the only comics who are nice to him is because he's got a big, famous, powerful show now. But if you
Power,
asked, if you let him forget about that, and if you caught any comic you respect in any moment, and you didn't bring up Tony, and you said, hey, list your 50 favorite comics. You're 50, and not even of all time, contemporaries. List 50 of the funniest comics working today. Tony's name wouldn't come up once on anybody's list. Right? Now that sounds like, oh, you're a big liberal, whatever. But is that even, I'm not lying, right?
I mean, I would have, I mean, whatever. I would have had this, I would have agreed with you before even knowing his political affiliation, just because there's
That's what I'm saying.
people that don't, yeah.
He was just so bad. And then one of the times the guy kept responding to me. He was like, oh, your career is over now. You go after Tony. I'm gonna share all this. I'm like, buddy, my career was dead 10 years ago.
I was saying your career's over.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
He's like, my career's over. It's been over, pal. It's been over. Like, I'm at peace with it. You think I give a shit? You're the one who still has hope and dreams.
No, please.
Oh, don't kill my hope. Don't kill my future in comedy is at risk. There's no future. I'm just trying to ride this out.
Oh my gosh. You know what's funny though? I didn't realize you meant he was talking about your career because
oh yeah, he was threatening my career because he had a big group of friends. He was gonna share he's like, oh, I know all my friends. I'm gonna show this to all my friends. And once you cross Tony, like Tony is like fucking Johnny Carson or something to this guy.
Yeah. But my wife, who didn't know who Tony Hinchcliffe was at all, was like, "Oh, this guy, his comic, he's done." And I'm just like, I mean, he's not done.
No,
he's not.
He's stronger than
Trump is still 50-50, and there's all that stuff that everything in existence. Tony is not done.
Let me tell you something. The only way Tony will be more famous now than he ever would have been before. It's like the best thing that ever. If you're going to live that life, and if you're going to lean in hard to that world, of course, he did exactly the right thing. The only way I could see this going bad for him is if somehow Trump loses, which I think Trump's like kind of, unfortunately, very close to winning. But like, let's say Trump loses, and let's say somehow they blame it on Tony. Then he's fucked, because then all the people who should like him will go, "You idiot! If you just kept your mouth shut." And then of course, no.
You idiot.
Yeah, well, of course we hate Puerto Ricans, but you don't say it right before the election, a week before the election. What are you, crazy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It's wild that he matters. It's wild who matters now. Because I was reading about, so like Trump did Rogan, right? So these comics are so, like, comedians are so relevant in this political world, it seems like.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because Trump and young men have made podcasts so powerful or whatever it is, but like, so Trump does Rogan, and then it came out that like Kamala was going to do Rogan, but she wanted him to come to her, and like Rogan was like, nah, you got to come to me. It's got to be at least 3 hours. He's like set the rule. He's like he's a stand-up comic, and he's like telling the vice president of the United States, like, hey, if you want to do the show, you got to show up.
Come to my basement.
You got to come to my place. It's just like, what world are we in? But he's right in the sense that, like, if you look at the Trump Rogan interview, it has like 30 million views on YouTube already. So he does have this currency that everybody wants, but
Yeah.
it's just the timeline we're in. I can't get over it. How much comics seem to be like playing into everything.
I mean, I knew he did it, but I haven't seen any clips or anything. Is Joe Rogan like a Trumper, or is he just like, hey, I'll take a
Not
piece of this cash
not
grab?
really. I didn't
Was
watch
there
it,
anything
but
that came out of it, or you don't know?
no, just a few. I only saw a few clips from it. Seems like he asked him a couple times about, like, the election stealing, and Rogan actually seemed pretty like skeptical a few times, like you know well, just he's asking him not in a confrontational way, but just like, well, what do you are you going to show this evidence that it was stolen, like
Yeah,
act
yeah.
like trying to like how long are
Help
you going to
him.
wait to show people?
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I don't think it changes anybody's mind, but I just think, like, man, 30 million people watch it. And that's just on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, our numbers aren't even close to that, I
No,
don't
we're
think.
we're like half if on a good day.
Yeah.
Uh
Huh.
anyway, so and the
Wow.
other thing, I was like, doesn't it seem like that comedians, male comedians especially,
Yeah.
have broken hard for Trump? The more successful like male comedians are, the more they seem to be like Trump supporters. So it's like the
Who are you thinking when you
podcast,
say that?
like Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe, Bert
Is Theo Vaughn
Kreischer. Yeah, for sure.
and Bert Kreischer? I didn't know that.
I mean, these are like, no one, none of, there's no endorsements here, but it's like,
I
I don't know.
did see
I feel like
Theo
I can
had
tell.
JD Vance on his podcast.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. It just feels like there's this, and I'm colored by it too, because my friend, Jeff Dye, who I started with, who's like a
Yeah.
successful comic, he's like leaned into all that Trump world stuff,
Huh.
So it
Wow.
does seem like there's this weird dividing line. But then I was like, you know what though? So there's that group, the ones who have become like relevant with podcasts and have big
Yeah.
draws on the road. They all seem to like Trump. But then when I talk to average road comics, like guys I end up working with,
Yeah.
it's still the same. All these comics hate Trump, like
Yeah.
the middle of the road guys who are making, 80, 90K a year, whatever it is. They don't like Trump. So I was like, what is that? Rich, it's just back to the old fashioned thing. Like, rich guys like the Republican and middle class people like the Democrat.
Yeah, but I mean, there are some broke
No,
ass road dogs.
yes.
And
Yeah. No, for
then there's
sure.
also
For sure.
the opposite, of successful ones that are uh
Yeah.
not leaning.
I mean more just like, you're right. There's for sure like road dogs who are going to vote for Trump. I just mean, like, if you had the election among comedians, right?
Yeah.
And obviously I want Kamala to win. So if you had the election among comedians, I would prefer to have it among anonymous comedians than famous comedians.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? I think she would
Yeah.
have a better chance of winning.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
just
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
I think part of that too is like if we change the format here on the Cavalry and just leaned hard right and became like an anti-woke sort of Trump love fest, I think it would help our numbers. And I think that factors in
Hey, you know
strongly.
what? I'll sell my soul
You want to
for
do
a
it?
bump.
Should we just become?
Just try. We just try.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think part of it's the grift. Part of it's like, oh, you just see what works. and you just start doing that over and over again, and then the next thing you know, you look up and you're like, you know, a racist asshole. But no.
Right. No,
Hey, that's a gross depiction of. No, but it's just. But you're right. The Tony Hinchcliffe thing is wild. It's just crazy that he matters and that people.
I know.
I saw this Nate Silver guy. He was like, because they talk about like, does this matter? Is this a moment that breaks through into the public consciousness? And he said for a while, he looks at Google trends, like how many people are searching on Google.
Yeah.
He said Tony Hinchcliffe was out searching Taylor Swift. Like immediately after that, more people were Googling Tony Hinchcliffe than Taylor Swift. Like that's how famous.
That's pretty monstrous.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
So when this comes out, it'll be the day before the election.
Yeah, this will come out on the 4th. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 4th.
Yeah.
Get out the vote. Let's rock the vote, people.
Wait,
Let's
and then
rock
we gotta
the vote.
We gotta rock the vote. You gotta vote. Especially if you live
Gotta
like
vote.
Wisconsin. Oh my God. Look at you guys. You're in the middle of it.
I know. I'm gonna vote twice.
Good job. Yeah, we gotta steal it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been okay. You talk about bits that you wish would work and never work.
Yes.
I just think this is so funny.
Oh, I'm excited to disagree.
No, I know you will disagree, and everyone else does too. Nobody laughs. But it was originally, so this is the way I did it when like Trump first started running. It's like, why
the
would
first time?
No, the second time. So he's running this second time, but or third time, but it's like earlier on. It's like a year and a half ago or whatever. I was like, I don't get why he's running again. Like, we're just gonna cheat. Like, why wouldn't we just? It worked last time. Like, why wouldn't we just cheat again? What is he, stupid?
You say it worked last time?
Yeah, we cheated. We stole the election in 2020, right? Like with Biden.
Right.
We cheated. It worked great. Why wouldn't we just do that again? It's gonna be easier this time because like Biden's actually president, so we'll just cheat like extra hard,
right?
But nobody likes that because
I don't think it's a lack of. It's like, oh, that's not funny. I think it's too. Because even my brain, as I was doing it, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like there's too much math. People are trying to figure out you.
But I was like, to me, it's like the analogy is like, you go to a carnival game and you can prove that the rim is too small for the basketball, and you're like, this is bullshit. You're stealing everybody's money. All right, one more game, and then I'm gonna prove to you that I'm,
Yeah.
So
Did you say that?
Yeah, none of it works. My advice is most jokes I do.
Yeah, I just keep digging and digging.
Most of them don't go great. My advice, if any Democrats are listening, and if you have any influence at all, just cheat again, please. Don't leave it up to chance. We have the ability to cheat. Take it.
Let's just do it.
Just do it.
I see what you're doing.
You're trying
to get. You're just trying to get the cavalry in the limelight. Get us on the map.
Yeah.
Local podcast blows the lid off of the Democrats' plan.
No, just cheat, please. Don't make me nervous. Maybe they are going to cheat, and it's just like they just 50-50, who knows? And they're just like back there smoking cigars, like these fucking morons. They don't know we control the voting machines. Go ahead, run your little commercials.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah.
Did we already talk about that? Like, is this something we've talked about many times? But maybe that'll be my topic. The polls.
Yes, your theory is that they just shouldn't do polls.
Yeah. They shouldn't do polls.
Let us all be surprised on election day.
I mean, what is the? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's like, it helps them figure out where they need to campaign, and it encourages people to vote, more people to vote, because they're like, I got to catch up. We're lagging. We got to catch up. But okay.
Yeah. No, let them do internal polls. But why do we need like public polls?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's just so that they have,
I think
shit to talk about. 24-hour news channel.
Well, yeah, because they get clicked on like they're like
Yep.
crack. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen. But what I think is that you might be right. Like eventually they might get rid of them because they seem like they're getting harder and harder to do because of the way people screen calls and don't answer junk and stuff like that. Like it is getting hard to get to people who are willing to answer polls. So I do wonder how viable they'll be going forward.
What were the polls like in 2016? Nobody went to bed thinking he was going to win.
No, exactly.
The polls were what? Just off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then they always do the thing where they're like,
because they make me nervous.
Yeah, my thing now is like, if you go online long enough, you can read, if you start reading something and it's like, oh, this is positive for my side. And then you read something else like, oh, actually, that's not good. We're going to lose. Oh, actually, we're going to win. We're going to lose. And you can do that forever. There's just enough data in an election like this where everyone can present something in a way where it's either positive or negative. And what I learned is you have to read, the first time you read something positive, you just log off. Like, oh, that was good. Get out. It's like you win one.
Good. I like that.
You win one beer pong game. You're like, I'm done for the night. I'm not playing anymore. I'm going out as a champ.
I'm a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Sorry, I'm going backwards, but if you were like, let's say you were having an election and you knew you were going to cheat, but you just didn't campaign at all because you just knew you're going to cheat. So like the other side's running commercials and they're out there shaking hands and kissing babies and work, and you're just the whole time you're just chilling at your house, like, yeah, vote for me, don't vote for me, do whatever, do what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit. In fact, if I get
the other person's ads, are just like, is he even trying? We haven't even heard from this guy. Is that who you want running your country?
Like, I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna win. You can vote for me. You don't have to vote for me. I don't fucking give a shit. And you know what? Even if you elect me, I'm not gonna try that hard. I'm gonna do what I want. So
yeah. You know what? Even if you're a fan of me, fuck you.
That guy's for sure cheating. Someone figure out what he's doing. He is going to cheat. He seems way too cocky. He's going to cheat. Election season.
Should we jump into the NFL or NFL picks?
Oh, yeah. Let's go over NFL picks.
All right. Do you have yours picked out, or can I blurt mine out?
Oh, wait. You're just going to gloss over the fact we both lost again? Don't we have to like cover that?
Oh, yeah. I guess we should catch everyone up on that. Well, that was man. See, I even called it. That spread was too big. That's not fun. It's not fun doing a 4.5 point spread because my team won and I lost. And that's a terrible feeling. I couldn't even be happy for my Packers. They didn't win by enough. But you know what?
That's what I was saying. That's not good.
Here's what I got this month or this week. Seahawks.
No, don't do it.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
What are they? Are they underdogs? Are they favorites?
They are the underdogs. You know what? If you want that one,
wow. No. You take it. That's interesting.
I'll tell you, I'm rooting for the Seahawks, and they're playing. You know who they're playing?
The Rams. Yeah,
the Rams. The Rams are favored 1.5 point. Yeah. So that's why it'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I'm gonna stay away from that because it makes me nervous.
You don't like mixing business with pleasure.
No, I know, and it never goes well for me. You
haven't bet on the Seahawks yet.
I know, because of that. There's enough emotion going on with those games as it is. I'm
really mucking the water here.
There's two that jumps out to me. The first one is the Broncos are 9.5 point underdogs to the Ravens, but the Broncos have been playing pretty well. And the other one
that's a whole different bet. That's just betting to not get clobbered.
Okay, and then the Texans are playing the Jets on Thursday night, and the Jets are 2-point favorites. You know what? I gotta take the Texans.
Jets and the what?
And the Texans.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm taking the Texans. I just gonna.
Oh, you're taking the Texans
Yeah, so they're 2-point underdogs. So I'm taking the
against
Texans.
the Jets.
Yeah, on Thursday Night Football.
And
So I'll know by
okay,
Thursday night whether I'm screwed or not.
Jets are favored by how much? 2 points?
Yeah.
And you're taking the Texans. Okay, so you got Texans and I got Seahawks. See, I would have done the Packers versus the Lions, but I've bet on the Packers a number of times, and it's like a 3.5 point spread.
Yeah.
The Lions are favored, but still, I'd rather do that 1.5 with the Seahawks. I probably won't even be able to watch that game, will I? The Seahawks game?
Maybe because it's the late afternoon game. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Well, all right. I got locked in. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
God, that this week's was a big dick suck fest. Anyway.
See. Okay. Let's get to topics, my friend. What do you need
Let's
backup
get to topics. All right. I need backup that when you buy clothes from the store.
Done it. Been there. Relatable.
You've
yeah.
Buy clothes from Old Navy, Gap, whatever. Sure. You don't have to wash them before you wear them.
Of course not.
All right.
Is anyone
What's your
doing
topic?
That?
My wife is insistent that you have to wash them. Do not. Oh, that's disgusting. You know how many chemicals are in that? I don't subscribe
in fact,
to that.
I think it's like there's nothing better than wearing it that first
that's
time.
the cleanest it's ever going to be because it's unworn.
Yeah. That's
I
remember when for Ginger, we would wash her like baby clothes when she first got them because my wife was concerned about that. And then like her skin is sensitive to whatever. But we stopped that even. Now we gave up on that. Now she gets something new.
Yeah, her immunity's up.
Yeah, sure. Her skin's like she's been exposed enough to chemicals.
Yeah.
She's fine. I never even knew of that. That if I hadn't met Heidi, I wouldn't have known to do that for Ginger. And I don't even know. I mean, like, you not try clothes on at the store? What do you do in that situation?
Well, you could do that, but yeah, that's a good point because the chemicals are getting on you. That's a good point. I mean,
how long do the chemicals have to be exposed to you before they seep in and do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on.
Underpants. What about underpants? Same?
No, I don't wash the first time.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing better than pulling out underwear that's never been worn before, putting it on that first time. I'm not gonna wash them first.
Yeah. You just slide your dick along that fabric. Ugh, it's good, right?
Okay, yeah, all right.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, these chemicals. God, there's nothing better than these clothing chemicals. What chemicals are we talking about, by the way?
I don't know.
What are the clothes chemicals?
I don't know. Want me to call Aaron down here?
Yeah, because when you get your shirt dry cleaned, I'm pretty sure they use chemicals.
Do they?
Yeah, that's a chemical procedure.
Oh, I thought they just
like you don't have to wash it after it comes back
from
dry cleaners.
Yeah, that's a good point. They steam it and starch it. Hey, you know what? I like that. Cheers.
Dr. Pepper night.
Yeah.
He's having a little Dr. Pepper night.
I am. I can't. Yeah, we're out of beer, and I need a Dr. Pepper. I need my DP. What's your topic? That's slang for Dr. Pepper.
I like to imagine you as like an alcoholic, and you're like, "Oh God, where's the beer? Somebody get me a Dr. Pepper." I'm going crazy. Okay, here's my topic. God, these are all so weak. I have 3 really weak ones.
That's great.
Part of me thinks I should do all 3. No, I have 4.
Well, it's not necessary.
I have 4
we got episodes next week.
I have 4 really bad ones.
Well,
Okay.
truth be told, I think we've done mine before. It sounded
All
familiar
right.
when I
Here's
said it.
here's 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 my topic. So
Yes.
do you know the Zulu alphabet? Like Alpha,
Zulu.
Bravo. I think it's Zulu alphabet, or
Are
do you know where the
you talking about fraternities? Alpha, beta,
yeah, what it would
omega.
no, not Greek. It's
Oh,
like
that's Greek. You're
Charlie,
talking about you
Charlie,
got, hey, I got
Tango,
yeah,
Charlie, Tango,
foxtrot.
Foxtrot. Yeah. So like
Okay.
I'm always in
So
this
you mean trucker talk?
trucker talk, yeah. Or
Yeah.
like
Okay.
fighter pilot talk.
Sure.
So
Same thing.
I'm constantly finding myself in a position because they'll always book my flights and then they'll put in my middle name with my first name, and so I have to call and fix it. When they book my flights for me, it's usually through a
The
travel
cruise
agent.
lines.
Yeah, it's usually through a travel agency, and then they screw it up so that I can't put in like my frequent flyer number or my TSA pre-check because my name doesn't look the same. So I always have to call up on the phone to the airline and go, "Hey, I'm having trouble putting in my frequent flyer number because the names don't match. Can you help me
Is
out?"
it Andrew J?
It's Andrew James Slater, and then they'll literally write Andrew James as in one name because most airlines don't want you to put a middle name, you know? So then I'll just say
Right.
Andrew Jam, sometimes only Andrew Jam because it doesn't fit the last two letters. So whatever. It's always like a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But so I'm always calling them. And then they always ask me, what's the confirmation code? And you're on the phone. And so it's like CFPLTY for whatever.
Yeah.
And they can't understand you because that's why they invented that thing where they say, instead of saying
Yep.
CPMN, you say Charlie.
Oh, you don't even say the letter. You don't say as in. You just go right
No,
into
I
fighter
do.
pilot.
I do like C as in can, but I can never think of good words. So this is my topic. This is what I need back up on. We need a new one of those things. A new, I forget what the a new
Well,
alpha,
if you don't even know the first one, why would they make a second one?
because we need one that's more relatable. One that's
Oh, like
easier to
it
remember.
has to be fruit. The new one is only fruit.
Fruit.
Everyone's going
Yeah.
to say apple,
Apple,
banana,
banana,
carrot.
carrot. Not a fruit, but okay.
Well, that's a
Fruit or
vegetable. That's
vegetable.
all.
Apple, banana, carrot. Duh, see what I mean? It gets hard.
Delicious. Duh, duh. Hmm. That's a
Dandelion.
tricky one.
Yeah.
Duh,
Dan- uh,
uh,
yeah.
diarrhea.
Diarrhea. No, they need a
Diarrhea.
new alphabet that's easier to remember. Or actors. What about it's like, no, no. I don't know.
Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, Aaron Sorkin.
A is in Aaron Sorkin.
B is in Brian.
Brian Regan, who has a bit about this.
Oh, does he really?
Huh?
Oh, I'm such a hack.
Yeah, he's like, P is in pneumonia.
Yeah. Yeah. So that just the Brian Regan bit. That's what I'm doing here.
I don't know.
Let's
I
move
like
on.
the finding a category that just has everything so that people are going to use the same one.
Yeah, because I can like it's funny. Charlie, Tango, Foxtrot. What are the other ones? Like, is it Alpha, Bravo, Charlie,
I don't know. Delta.
Delta? Maybe.
But isn't it like, don't you, when you do that, don't you just do it for the letters that sound like, I just say, you know, T, if it's like B and they might think it's P, I'll say, or if it's N and M, like really N and M are the only ones where I'm like Nancy,
No, I
marshmallow.
do it for the P's and the T's and the D's and the because they
Yeah.
I don't know. But we need a better one. We just need to update it. Update it. Or you
Yeah,
know,
just refresh it.
a refresher. Maybe I just need like to take a class in it or something.
Nah, don't do that. It sounds stupid.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
like
gonna.
A as in, my name, Andrew.
Andrew, yeah, A is in Andrew.
N as in Andrew, because there's no
Yeah,
Andrew.
N is
That's
in the
not a
second
name.
letter in Andrew. D is in the third
D.
letter. I'm just
Yeah.
spelling my name. Okay, my name is Andrew. That's A is in Andrew. N is in the second letter in Andrew. D is in the third letter in Andrew.
Yeah. I like it. Well, I'm all
I
about
told
a
you
new
they were
one coming
bad.
out. That'd be fun.
I
No,
told you they
that's
were
a
bad
great one.
topics. And well, it was a Brian Regan bit. I fucked that up. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
hey, that's it. That's the Cavalry. Thank you everybody for listening.
Well, before we sign off, do want to give a shout out to Kyle McClure, fan
Oh,
extraordinaire. By the way, did
did you have a
you eat
cinnamon roll?
I did. Yes, and we
Great.
had to hide. They're so good. I had one. He gave me a lot, so I
Yeah.
had one on my drive home, and then I gave my wife one, and I showed them to her, and she was like, "Oh my god!" So we hid them from the children, but they saw me come in with them because he put them in a gift bag, and we were hoping they'd forget. And then later they're like, "You had a gift bag. What was that?" And so we had to like split one into thirds to give to the three of them, and then me and Aaron just housed the rest.
Wow, good.
But they're good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Like your kids are keeping you accountable. Hey, you came in with a bag. What's in the bag?
I like. Did he have
You're holding out
Did
on
he
me.
have you sign a picture of me?
Just you?
Yeah, I signed. He had like I think 7, 3 printouts of our logo, my headshot,
I signed a
a
lot of
still
stuff.
grab of my dressed as Batman, a still grab of me as a graduation performing as a graduation valedictorian, and then he had your headshot, and he wanted me to sign it, so that's why I signed it. Andrew, I love you, Johnny, and I sent that to you.
I didn't see that.
No,
Why
it's
are you
on there.
sending these texts? I don't remember signing a picture of just you. I know I signed a picture of like the two of us, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you did. Oh, but I didn't see the signature.
You didn't zoom in.
I didn't zoom in. Because there's a lot of. It looks like a detective trying to solve a murder. All the
Yeah.
pictures.
A lot of
And then
pictures spread out.
Batman, and it's very chaotic.
Yeah. That was like a private show for Kyle because him and his buddy sat front and center, nobody else in the row, nobody in the row behind him, and then the audience started the third row and went back.
Oh, so yeah,
It was
yeah.
basically like, oh, okay, this is the
Sometimes you think like
Kyle show.
all we need to get them to fill in is like one person to sit up front, and then everyone will want to sit up front because like, oh shit, we're gonna run out of seats. But it sounds like they needed one more person to be the tipping.
Yeah, really tipped the scale.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
But it was a good show.
Yeah.
Okay,
it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Cavalry. Go vote if you haven't voted
Go
yet.
vote. Get out there. Get
Vote
off your fat ass. Get off the couch, you fat ass.
Vote your conscience. You can see me in where am I gonna be next? Oh, Wichita.
Ooh.
Vorshay's Lounge.
Ooh, I was talking to Ronnie Glenn Williams about Vorshay's.
Okay.
Wichita.
Yeah.
Might have to reach out, try to get in there.
Reach out. November 8th and 9th. Friday and Saturday.
Is that a door deal or you're just getting a paycheck?
Pretty sure it's just a check.
Ah, that's what I could use. I like to get back in that action.
But Boise, which if you're listening to this, it's already happened, is a door deal. So that one's don't
Boise?
I have stress.
All right, good. All right, I will be Milwaukee, November 9th. Oh, and I'm going to be at Comedy on State in 2 days. It's already happened, folks.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in post-show banter.
Oh, I know what that is. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening to
Bye, Cavalry!